Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Bice Osei Kuffour, a.k.a. Obour.
Yeah.
Obour.
Hi, Asidua.
Good morning to you.
You look gorgeous this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, it's intriguing how I loved listening to your songs when I was, quite younger. And today I'm honored.
Don't make me feel old, please. I'm still a young...
That's the goal, actually. The goal is to make you feel old because I feel very, very honored seated with you this morning. You've done so well.
Thank you. Over
the years, you've done immensely well. And, I know that a number of people have had this question on their minds is, you were succeeded in the music industry. You were doing so well in the music industry. And then before I realized, it's like, politics and all of that, even standing as an MP, in 2020 and then again in 2024, and then you became, in 2022, the managing director for Ghana Post.
Yep.
I mean, tell us, the first question I want to ask you, first of all, you're transitioning from being a musician into going into politics. When you did this project, the One Ghana...
Peace Project. Yeah.
Peace Project, exactly. Was that an indirect announcement to the entire world that, hey, I think I want to go into politics one day, so watch out for me?
All right. Thank you very much, Asidua. Beautiful question and great. You've been watching and following.
Yes.
So, okay, so let me tell you this way. I've been a musician and I'm still a musician. I mean, it's not just performing that makes you a musician.
Okay.
I still write music. My soul is music. I mean, I don't go a week without enjoying very good music, sometimes my own songs. Except that along the line, I felt I needed something more challenging. I felt I needed to impact my society in another way.
Okay.
Apart from just education and training. I mean, if there's the opportunity to use legislation, which is authority, to get things changed, because that way, if there's legislation that this is the way to do things, and you don't do it that way, then the state laws can actually apply.
Okay.
So when I did One Ghana Peace Project, I hadn't really thought of entering into politics. I hadn't.
Okay.
I just was still a Ghanaian, an extremely patriotic Ghanaian who wanted to see Ghana do well, who wanted to ensure that Ghana is seen as a one country, that we all strive to make it great. But what happened is the project actually made me more interested in politics. Because what the project did was it brought me closer to a lot of people in authority.
Yeah.
I sat with ministers, I sat with chiefs, I went to almost every region. I had meetings with more than 56 paramount chiefs, all in my quest to ensure that there's a peaceful election in 2008.
Yes.
And then with that, I started seeing that, okay, wait, maybe if I was in Parliament to help with legislation for music, legislation for peace enforcement, it would really be a more easier route than constantly singing and allowing people to decide whether they would do it or not. So really it all played a role, but I hadn't actually decided then that this was going to be my course. Would
you determine as you were being swept away by the attention that you were gaining from, people in government at that time?
No, so I actually felt more fulfilled doing that work than just the music. I mean, it was great doing music. I mean, when I had Konkontiba, you'd had doors were being open.
Yeah.
Okay, but when I did my road safety campaign, I don't know whether you came about that, on TA, Papa Driver.
Yes.
Different type of doors opened because so I realized, okay, there's more blessing in community service. There's more blessing in service. There's more blessing in doing stuff that helps uplift the entire community.
Okay.
So then it's not really the swing, but I had more satisfaction personally when I am changing lives, when my project is seeing successes, so I'm talking, so then I just gravitated naturally towards that. But I'm still a musician. I haven't, it's just that I'm not actively performing,
okay.
But I'm still a very, very musician at heart.
Okay. When it's still staying, with you and music and all of that, would you also see it as, okay, in fact, let me just put it this way. When you started doing music, what was the end goal for you?
I think I wanted to be a great musician, that people will love my music.
Okay.
I would become #1 in Ghana. Then my vision was really Ghana. I hadn't even dreamt the world, become a household name. And with God's blessing and hard work, that came quite quickly.
Yes.
So then I was like, I'm going to rise to the apex of the music industry in Ghana, where I don't just do music, but I'm able to influence the industry in Ghana. So then I decided in 2008 that I'm going to go into the Musicians Union of Ghana. I'm going to go and walk my way to become the president of the Musicians Union of Ghana. And from 2008 to 2011, God being so good, all the strategies I put together worked, and I became the president of the Musicians Union of Ghana.
Yes.
And I moved it, so in doing that job as president of Musica, it also exposed me even more to the opportunities that I could be able to achieve if I moved into the legislation chamber. Because
speaking about you becoming the president of Musica, in Ghana, a number of people would also say that when it comes to certain high positions, we leave it for older people.
Yeah.
Majority of the times.
Yeah.
You happen to be the youngest president for the Musicians Union of Ghana.
Yeah.
When you were vying for that position, were you not scared?
Okay, so again, when I plan to do something, I work towards it.
Okay.
So in 2008, I actually embarked on a campaign called Youth for Presidency.
Okay.
Which was an entire campaign to tell Ghana that if a person is 18 and the person is allowed to vote for who to become the president, that's the highest sense of responsibility. So if you believe that somebody who is 18 should be able to vote, then really somebody who is 18 should be able to lead. Somebody who is 18 should even be able to contest for presidency. Because we say that when you turn 18, you are mature.
Yes.
I mean, the whole idea of pricking and going on that Youth for Presidency campaign was to awaken younger people, to tell young people that, hey, there's no need leaving leadership as a reserve for the elderly. Let's lead. I mean, what is leadership? Lead by example, be committed, have your values intact, and show it. Some people have to show the way. So I decided to be one of the people who will show the way. And so I became president of Musica when I was 27 years.
Yes.
I mean, very, very young. I contested with Jedi Bleambule, Nanatufo. These are giants in the music industry. But I was working on it strategically and also putting that message across that the world we are in today is a mixture of the old and the young. And you need the energies of the young. You need the technological ideas of the young so that you can thrive. And my message actually went down. It really, really went down.
And you ended up being re-elected 4 years later.
Because I did a good job.
Because you did a good job.
I think I did a good job. I think when I'm tasked to do anything, I give it my all. And I think that's what people should do. And again, there's one thing I'm concerned about when it comes to selecting leaders. You must select leaders who are passionate for what they want to do.
Right.
I think that's the very first point we need to find before you even go to all the other factors. Is the person passionate about leadership? Is the person passionate to do all the sacrifices you need to make so that you can... When I became president of Musica, I decided not to release a competitive song.
Okay.
Mainly because I'm sitting on the board of Ghana Music Awards. Now, if I release a competitive song, and it's a big song, and there's Ghana Music Awards, and I'm competing with Sarkodie or Chame, all of them. I'm competing with these guys.
You're being biased.
Somebody will say I'm being biased. So even when I win, legitimately, they will say, oh no, he uses him.
Yeah.
So are you ready to sacrifice your career, your personal growth for the entire good of the society? Yes, I am.
And that's what you did.
And I did it. So really, it's about just being passionate about what you want to do and driving it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm seated this morning with the legendary Obour, who has chalked his successes in the Ghanaian music industry and also has gone out of his way to do immensely well in the Musicians Union of Ghana, with Ghana Post, Now, talking about... So please, if you have any questions for Obour, please send them in, okay? The WhatsApp number is 055-157-5757, or you can go to our Facebook page. It is Joy Prime TV. Now, Ghana Post, when you officially announced on your socials, on your resignation, you made it known that you have laid a solid foundation for whoever that is going to come and take over to have a very smooth one with Ghana Post. Let me take you back to Musica. You made some very huge establishments. The loans, musicians could take. Ejumapa loans. You set up a fair. It's at a Ghana
Music Week, Ghana Music Fair. The Ghana Music Week.
Ghana Music Week, exactly. Yeah. And some other establishments that you made.
There's the Aging Musicians Welfare Fund. There's also the Music Academy that we left with NAFTI. A couple of them.
Now, looking back at what you left behind after reigning for 2 terms as a president of Musica, all these establishments, do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel satisfied?
Okay, so my 8 years of Musica, I believe, was very, very well spent.
Okay.
The lives we impacted were massive. Again, but Musica, after my exit, and that's something I've learned with leadership, when a very good leader leaves a space, it has to be managed. And if you are unable to manage it, it creates a certain lacuna. It creates not just a vacuum, it creates divisions. And if you are not... So when I was leaving Musica, I was trying hard to see who would succeed.
Yes.
And you had different groups of people interested, but another group of people who I believe strongly had the capacity and capabilities to do that job. They were moving away. So there were musicians like Ochiame Kwame, Richie Mensah. These are guys, I brought them into the fold with the mind that they would carry on. Okay, then, of course, there was Bessa Simons and a lot of other guys who were still with the fold. Now, Bessa Simon had expressed interest, Rasapia Lever had expressed interest, and it became, instead of working together, some were not patient, so it became a legal battle.
Right.
Anytime there's a legal tussle and battle, nobody wants to play with it. So, for instance, Ghana Music Week, which had sponsors.
Yes.
The year after, because Musica is in court, sponsors are out. They are no longer interested. The Musica Presidential Grand Ball is an event that the president would always attend. Now, if there's one group saying, we are not members of Musica, Musica is not even legitimate. So the litigation on leadership that came up after my exit didn't do well for the organization.
Okay.
And that, I feel, that is the core reason why a lot of the great things that needed to have been continued kind of slowed down. But I'm happy today they are out of court. Bessa and the team are mobilizing themselves. I think they can pick it up. I mean, they have the template. It's not rocket science. I mean...
Okay, so when you look at the year that your tenure ended.
2019.
2019 and today. Don't you see it as too long a time? Too long a time for there to still be, we are still, putting ourselves together. We will get there. We are getting somewhere. We are going somewhere.
I also believe so. I think the organization, we can challenge ourselves more.
Because you've laid a very, solid template.
Yeah.
According to, what you've just said right now, you've laid a very solid template. So where's the difficulty?
That's what I'm saying. It's immediately so again, when you are not united, there's virtually nothing that you can do.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, I'll use the copyright Gamro.
Yes.
It's one of the major things that music must ensure. During my time, Gamro there were a lot of issues, but we managed it all the time at the top. So it never degenerates into a court.
Or division.
Good.
In there.
So there's radio stations, TV stations, Joy Prime. They're supposed, you just played the game. You're supposed to pay Gamro. You're supposed to pay the musician. Okay. Now, immediately, a group of musicians are saying, we are not part of Gamro, so don't pay money to Gamro. Really, it's a field day for you. So when you play the song, you say, oh, I didn't know that this person is even a member of Gamro or he's a member of the other group, so I don't know where to pay my money to.
Where to pay the money to.
And you have a legal, way to easily go around it. So you end up not growing. It's the same thing that happens to music. So once there's an election and somebody, there's no legitimate election, and then they add costs to it, there's an injunction, and for 4 years, the organization was in court.
Yeah.
You can't grow. So once that is over, then of course they start picking the end. I mean, the International Federation of Musicians would stay out. They won't, during that period of battles, they will not invite the leadership for training, all the things that would help the organization to grow. It would come to a standstill. And so we only just have to give them a bit of room to reorganize and pick it up again. We are around. I mean, I still advise the current president. Anytime he comes for advice, we advise him, and we are available to provide advice. I mean, the musicians themselves have to see that we need to grow, and then we can grow.
Let's move away from
music.
Now let's come to Ghana Post.
Oh, yeah.
During your final year, okay, so before you resigned, this was before elections.
Yeah.
You established something that got a number of people talking and asking questions. And that was when you and your team decided to create, in celebration of Otumfuo's 25th anniversary, you did the commemorative stamps.
Yep.
I have been dying to know if you had any, jabs thrown at you, if you had anybody trying to fight you, if you had anybody trying to stop you, that why are you choosing to celebrate Otumfuo's Silver Jubilee in this manner? I remember that at some point somebody asked, Ghana, do we still use stamps?
Yeah.
So did you encounter any such when you were, doing all of this?
Okay. Great. So, why do you want to know this?
You're
just curious.
I'm just curious.
This is not out of curiosity. So, commemorative stamps actually are one of the major blocks, or philately stamps in general, are one of the major blocks of any postal administration. And yes, we are not actively using stamps to post letters now.
Yes.
But there's a whole world out there that are collecting stamps. So there are stamp collectors who would travel miles to just go and collect stamps. Actually, in Ghana Post, at our philately office, there are foreigners that troop in just to buy which stamp did you release in 95, 98, they will just buy all the stamps, collect them. And these stamps, they end up selling them also at different exhibitions. So even though we are not actively using it like that everyday postage, it is still one area of the post that is still very active. Now, commemorative stamps are issued mainly to commemorate occasions. So when Ghana had its independence, there was a stamp that we still have. Yeah. I mean, when there was 9/11 in the US, there was a commemorative stamp. When Professor Mills died in 2011, there was a commemorative, I think it was 2012, there was a commemorative stamp. Now, Otumfuo marking 25 years of great leadership, it came up to be discussed by the Stamp Advisory Committee, because there's a Stamp Advisory Committee that's composed of representatives from the ministry, representatives from the postal and courier. And we bounced that idea that, okay, why not do stamps for one of our chieftaincies or our kings. Let's look at one of them. And then in 2022, we decided, okay, Otumfuo's anniversary will be in 2 years. It will be 25.
Yeah.
And that will be a great period to celebrate this commemorative stamp. And so we partnered the Universal Postal Union, which is the postal union for all post offices in the world. And we applied, and then they also endorsed it. That, okay, 2024, we are going to celebrate Otumfuo's 25th anniversary with a commemorative stamp. So we came with them, we informed Otumfuo, and he also assented. He liked the idea because, of course, Queen Elizabeth, when he turned 100, there was a stamp for her. So if Otumfuo is 25, all that. Of course, it's not the only reason is not because I am an Ashanti, no. But I felt if we have to do it for one chief, raise it to that level in Ghana.
So you had people coming at you?
Oh, yeah, we did. We had some traditional administrations, even also writing that their chief would also be 25, and which we tabled to Ghana Post. I mean, we had actually also pitched another idea, not necessarily a stamp. During Ochenhine's 25th anniversary, the post office had an idea that we were working with them to also launch. So we didn't exclude it, but it was just that for Otumfuo's occasion, it was just a perfect occasion, and it was assented to by the Universal Postal Union and all the parties, the board, everybody was in for it. So we gave it the best shot. And it was a successful project. Very
successful event because you ended up having Ashantis living in the UK craving for it, Ashantis in the USA craving for it.
We had a plan to actually take it to the world. So there was the Ghana launch, there was supposed to be the UK launch and the US launch 2025. I'm just praying that Ghana Post will look
at that and then do it for you. We have some messages, so let's go on social media. Let's read them. Hello, good morning. How are you doing? Oh, I love watching your shows. You are Ghanaians, but you are too. Hey, today you are so beautiful today. Oh, thank you. Good morning, Essie Edouard. The man that is a legend. I know. He has to be celebrated. In Asante Achim South, he continued to impact into the lives of the youth with every opportunity he gets. Moreover, Bice is destined for greatness. That's a very sweet message. Thank you for this one. From Michael Oduaye, COHY, Sunyane. Obour has paid his dues to the music industry and Ghana at large. May you live long, Konkutiba. That is very, very beautiful. Obour. In 2022, I had the opportunity to interview Bessa Simmons and Dada KD, may his soul rest in perfect peace. And then Dada KD, I asked Dada KD this question of when would we have on stage all of these legends who they have just talked their successes in the music industry on one stage performing and giving us, a night to remember, basically. He did say that was in conversations at that time. And that they were hoping that it would come to fruition. Should we look at something like that? Should we still dream of seeing something like that? You and Obrafo, the likes of Keke Fosu, Oforian Ponsa. I mean, you guys have
some solid back in the day.
Yes.
Funny enough, we're in 2025, and Konkontiba actually turned 20. Officially, it's exactly 20 years that Konkontiba won the Artist of the Year, won all the awards.
Yes.
And I was thinking, there've been a couple of guys who have come to me with several proposals that there's a team that said we should do Konkontiba and then, Samini's big song, Linda.
Yeah.
So they should do Konkontiba and Linda at 20 celebration. And around that same 2020, that's when all these big Suje, Kokoveli, a lot of them were in the 2024-2025 bracket. Maybe we would give it a good thought. We'll give it a good thought. It's just everybody is doing something these days. Everybody is busy. But we just need a good team, because there's another project that I'm aware is in the people are cooking.
Okay.
Have been, because Hip Life in itself is already turned 30 years,
okay,
which is a major block. It's a major festival that we should celebrate. So I'm just praying that Bessa Simon, the leaders of the industry, currently now there's the Creative Arts Council. These are things we pushed for so that the industry can have good policy direction.
Okay.
And I think this is something that the Creative Arts Council and the organizations in the music industry have to take it up strongly and pursue, because I think Ghana deserves it. It will be a great, have the likes, the Lord Kenya, try and pull him from the pulpit. Let him know that this is also service to God.
Service to God. Just to give us something
making people happy is service to God.
Okay.
And he gets a big opportunity to even preach at the end of the performance.
That's true, though. That would be bad.
Pull him, bring Obour, bring Obour, bring Ankase, let them come from London. Come on, bring all the guys, and then let's have like a big reunion for Hip Life. I think we should look into it.
We definitely have to look into it.
Yeah, maybe I'll make it a chance.
Before you go, you definitely have to give us something. We want to find out if you still got it. But before,
I still got it.
You still got it.
I still got it.
I believe that. Anyway, but before that, Asante Acham Sound.
Yeah.
Will they be seeing you on the ballot sheet again in 2028?
Are you not asking this question too early?
Well,
I've since 2016 that I decided strongly that this community where my mother is, my father is, where I grew up from, and it's their prayers, their support that's brought me this far. And where I've gotten to with my fame and my knowledge, I should serve them. Okay. I've been serving. Of course, I pray that I can serve them as a member of parliament. Okay. But that notwithstanding, I'm serving
It's not stopping you.
I'm serving them.
Okay.
I'm consistent. Just last week, we had a sanitation deba there about a month ago. We had some cleanup exercises. Nice. We had some support for the people who would be BEC. Okay. We had some support for students who are entering nursing now. Okay. So I'm constantly doing stuff there. Okay. Eventually, when the party, which is the MPP, gives directives and they open nominations, I'm not sure I'll bow out from serving my people. I'm still serving my people. Nice. So I'm sure you've gotten your answer.
Thank you very much. I have gotten my answer. And I know that my viewers were asking this question, they were hoping for an answer as well. So viewers, there you have it. Obour, give us something to remember.
Okay, so it's two things. I can give you something that everybody knows.
Please give us.
Or I can give you something that not a lot of people know, but it's tight.
Okay, please give, yeah. The tight one, that one.
So which one do you want?
The tight one.
Mati free, pebo diabeto me chalk. Unti a copy slate and the chalk. And you way mempe beat and tipos. And hunte hunubusu muruma judagu. Famijo me frefrem pateku. Edua kwekwana si di hua bewu. And tekumen kotena si ntonku. Ma jonso ankorema na bukit. Me duru heaven na fe na wu petikit. Or riata. Me sere waka wanutum. E humne ya ham. E hamne ya. You wanted the radio sound. I'm not giving you that.
My goodness.